What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So I have not done a Utah Jazz rebuild on NBA 2K21, but I've thought about something for a long time for the Utah Jazz. They're going into an interesting season where the very next season they might have to pay a max contract to Rudy Gobert. And now that's an underrated story for the future that we just aren't crossing that bridge yet, but I feel like the Jazz should really start thinking about it now, because do you really want to pay Gobert the max? Is some team out there gonna pay the guy that much? I think you need to make a huge win now move and find out if Gobert's... I feel like you should just go all in this season and trade for the point guard that's available on the Oklahoma City Thunder and Chris Paul. I know it might seem crazy. It's not been talked about Utah possibly going for Chris Paul, but I feel like it makes sense. Leave a like in the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll explain more once we get into the rebuild. Scarier if they come back, or this team's not going to look scary if they come back with Mike Conley. Let's be honest. They need to do something, I feel like. Obviously, they had a pretty decent season. They fell up short against the Nuggets in the first round. They blew a 3-1 lead. You might as well. Mike Conley's on an expiring contract. And like I said, you're coming to a turning point to where Gobert is going to expire. And you might have to pay him a lot of money. You might as well go all in if you're going to pay Gobert that money, or you might as well go all in and find out if Gobert is worth it. See if this team is worth it, or should you kind of reset around Donovan Mitchell? That's what I think, right? So this is the trade that I did. Now, you could throw in more or less for either side, but basically, Mike Conley's expiring contract going to the Oklahoma City Thunder with Tony Bradley, Georges Niang, and a first-round pick, and the Jazz get Chris Paul, obviously. So you'll have a backcourt of Chris Paul, Donovan Mitchell. You'll still have Ingles and O'Neal, and you'll have Rudy Gobert, obviously, as well, and Bojan Bogdanovic. So I really like this trade for the Jazz. I think it makes too much sense, and it's not being talked about. This came from the brain up here, man. Let me know what you guys think of the trade, but let's do the rebuild. Enough talking about the trade. Let's actually make this rebuild happen, and let's see if the Chris Paul, Donovan Mitchell backcourt would work, and let's see if we win a championship. The City Thunder. So we're gonna go straight to team and player options, which we don't have any to worry about. We have Jarrell Brantley, Justin Wright Foreman, and Juwan Morgan, who are all restricted free agents. Not really worried about either of those guys. For some reason, Jordan Clarkson is on a contract for the next 2 years. I think he's expiring, if I'm not mistaken, in the offseason, but I could be wrong. Royce O'Neal's contract is updated, thankfully. And then, yeah, so we need to sign some more depth, but now we have a backcourt of Chris Paul and Donovan Mitchell, also Clarkson backing up Donovan Mitchell. I really like that. That's awesome. Got Joe Ingles and Royce O'Neal still at the 3. Bojan still coming. He's going to be coming back from his injury at the 4. And then obviously trade your backup center. But we can find backups. Backup center is not hard to find. We can do that easily. So let's go for our backup center in the offseason. We could re-sign Derek Favors, bring him back to Utah. But I don't think I'm going to do that. There's Alex Len. There's Chris Boucher. I guess I'll sign Chris Boucher to a 2-year deal to back up Rudy Gobert. And you know what? Possibly take over after Gobert is gone, because I don't know if I want to pay Gobert that contract. I know if you do trade for Chris Paul, obviously he has another year, another player option after this year. And then Gobert, if you do let Gobert walk, then fine. But Chris Paul will be a 1-year deal, and you could trade him again potentially if you want to, if it doesn't really work out. But I feel like this is the way the Jazz can just go all in, man. I feel like Chris Paul is a absolute phenomenal way the Jazz could go all in. Yes, he's old, but he's only going to be here for 2 years, and let's see if he can win a championship in Utah. I don't know if it's going to be enough, obviously, but I feel like the Jazz should try. Like, the Jazz should at least try, right? So I like this a lot. We're going to sign a backup point guard and a backup 4, which we don't really have a lot of options there, but I do see Brad Wanamaker, I guess, from the Boston Celtics. Not obviously a huge upgrade, but we'll take it nonetheless. And I still want to trade for a better backup point guard. So we do get some players on the restricted free agency. So I'm going to go ahead and flip these guys for a backup point guard if I can get one gifted to me. There's Tyus Jones, Elfrid Payton. Actually, I'll take that for sure. So we're going to get Elfrid Payton. So you have Elfrid Payton backing up Chris Paul now. Donovan Mitchell, Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, Royce O'Neal, Bojan, and Rudy Gobert, and Chris Boucher. So yeah, this is my way of saying the Jazz should go all in, go for Chris Paul, see what happens, and hey, maybe it pays off. Maybe it doesn't. Who cares? Like, you're getting to a point where you might have to decide a really big decision on your franchise player, Rudy Gobert. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is more the franchise player now, but obviously Gobert has been there for quite some time and has been a big part of what the Jazz do. So they really need to decide, is Rudy Gobert worth it? Might as well go all in and get Chris Paul to pair up with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. I like this a lot. I think it makes so much sense. Like I said, let me know what you guys think, but I'm going to go ahead and send this first season, see how it goes, see if we can be decent or win a championship. And of course, Chris Paul's defense isn't too bad either. Obviously, he is, you know, old now, but hey, it's all good. We're gonna go ahead and send this season, see how it goes. We'll stick with defense since it's Quinn Snyder's system, and let's see if we win this championship. We went all in. Let's see what happens. Player at the end of the season, LaMelo Ball is rookie of the year on the Timberwolves, which there are some talks about the Timberwolves want to trade that pick. Bobo is your sixth man, Kawhi's defensive player, and John Morant's most approved. And Brad Stevens is your coach of the year. So let me know if you guys want me to talk about some other things in the offseason. Like if you want me to do a rebuild on some other underrated things that might happen in the offseason, like scenarios while we wait on free agency. I don't really have much else to talk about. So I feel like if I can think of ideas in my head of like what if scenarios to do for rebuilds on, I feel like that could be some fun. You guys have let me know how you guys enjoy this one. But for this season, Donovan Mitchell averaged 28 points. Chris Paul, 19 and 9. That's perfect for what we wanted out of him. Just another scorer next to Donovan Mitchell, someone who could take the pressure off him. That's another thing. You get another ball handler in Chris Paul, somebody that could take the pressure off Donovan Mitchell, that you know can get a bucket. Mike Conley was supposed to be that guy, didn't really work out, and I feel like Chris Paul could definitely fill those shoes. Bojan Bogdanovic, another guy who averaged a pretty nice stat line with 16. Clarkson getting 16 off the bench for us as well. Gobert 13 and 15 and almost 3 blocks a game. Obviously Gobert doing his thing. And now I feel like we're a threat in the West. We're the second seed in the Western Conference, which is awesome. We have Damian Lillard, CJ, Rodney Hood, Precious, and Nurkic to deal with. Whiteside still here as well. I swear, as a Blazers fan, if we come back with this same roster, I'm going to be very heated. I really want some changes this offseason, which is something I could maybe do for another video. But let's sum my current round against the Blazers, and let's beat these guys, please. And we beat them in 5. So that's a good start. And now we don't even have to worry about the third seeded Denver Nuggets as the Suns upset them. So now we have Theo, Booker, Oubre, Gay, Ayton, Cameron Johnson, Malik Beasley, and Mikal Bridges to deal with. So it is nice to see the Suns get into the playoffs and not also get past the first round. So that's good. Let's summate current round, and we beat them in 5. So already the Jazz are tasting much more success than they have in quite some time, as we are in the Western Conference Finals. I'm not saying this is how it would play out in real life, but hey, this is 2K. I guess it's the most realistic simulation game out there as far as basketball is concerned. Hopefully maybe one day it gets even better, but hey, we got Avery Bradley, Naismith, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Serge Ibaka, and JaVale McGee to deal with. So let's go ahead and see if we can beat the Lakers. So I'm gonna go game by game here. So with Chris Paul, we do lose game 1. We do win game 2. Okay, so that's good. Can we win game 3? Nope. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4 goes to them as well. And we might lose in 5 here, which we do. But hey, we made it to the Western Conference Finals, right? I mean, like, yeah, it sucks. But regardless, I mean, like I said, it's more success than the Jazz have tasted in quite some time. Obviously, they made it to the second round when they beat the Thunder that one year with Paul George. Shot like, made 6 points in the game. But hey, I'll take it. 55 and 27. We did our thing, and now the Jazz. Now, this is the part where if I was the general manager and I just made this trade for Chris Paul and it didn't work out, this is the part where I leave. I say, you know what? I'm pulling a Daryl Morey. I'm stepping down. You guys can decide if you want to pay Gobert that much money, because I don't know if I want to pay him that much money, if I'm completely honest with you. So, but of course, I'm doing the rebuild, so that's not going to happen. And I'll never be the GM of any team in real life, obviously. Either I have like no credentials other than just playing freaking My League on 2K. And Quinn Snyder will keep around, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and fire my assistant just to get a little bit better there. And then we're going to get Noah White. So we'll sign those two. And then we're going to go to the NBA draft, which we do have the 7th pick via the Knicks. Okay, so that probably wouldn't happen in real life. But hey, 2K, we have the 7th pick. I'll take it. So let's go into the draft and see what we get with the 7th pick. I'm pretty sure this came from the Elfrid Payton trade. So that literally makes no sense. But hey, we'll take it. Like I said, Isaiah Todd. We do need a backup power forward, so I'm going to go ahead and take Isaiah Todd, who's American apparently. Okay, and then so we get 74 overall. Isaiah Todd. Probably should have taken someone better there. Chris Paul actually declines his player options. Like, Utah sucks. There's no nightlife there. There's nothing to do there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and decline my $40 million and head to free agency just because I don't want to be here anymore. So I'm sorry, Chris Paul, you are the title of the video. So, I mean, I can't just let you walk. And then Gobert is out here wanting some money. Like I said, this is kind of a tough decision. But since I want to make this team still good, I'm going to go ahead and throw him that money. I'm going to make sure to get Mitchell back as well. And I'm going to go Chris Paul a 2-year deal because he doesn't have any better offers right now. So, let's sign those two. And we're going to get Donovan Mitchell, Gobert, and Chris Paul all back. Our big 3 that we love. Okay. So Elfrid Payton, I'm going to sign back as well to a 2-year deal just to have that point guard depth. And then, is there much of anything else we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, I like this a lot. We also got Isaiah Todd out of the draft, so hopefully he can become a nice backup 4. Bojan does go down, and overall we could make this team a little bit better, but I kind of want to just roll with it again and just see what happens. And I feel like Anthony Davis might have left the Lakers. He sometimes does in these simulations, so let me see if he's still on the Lakers. And no, he resigned, and LeBron's still there as well. And they also got Andre Drummond. Okay, so we're gonna have to step up big time this next coming season, but we'll be all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw Boucher some untapped potential. I'm gonna throw some at Isaiah Todd, who we just drafted, obviously. And then I'm gonna throw, I probably should have taken Kuninga, right? Is that how you say it? But I didn't. I don't know why. I thought I was like, you know what? I think I'm set at the small forward right now, and that's definitely not the case. Ingles and Russell O'Neal my starters right now. So big L, and I feel like I should probably upgrade that. So I'm fine with Bojan, fine with Clarkson. Yeah, let's do something about that. So I'm gonna throw Ingles and Russell O'Neal. I love them both for Utah, but at this point, if I can get a better small forward on the roster, that would be ideal. And I see Justice Winslow, and we get Norman Powell. We don't really need a backup shooting guard, though. There's also Vic Chambers. I actually don't know who that is, and I think he's a rookie, but he's a 79 overall. So why not? I'll do the trade. So we're gonna have also a nice backup small forward coming in, and Derek Jones Jr. And actually, we're gonna go ahead and move this to a balanced lineup. That way, we're not running defense this time. And let's see if this time around, second season with Chris Paul and Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, let's see if we can win it all. Let's do this, baby. The second consecutive time, if I could say that word. Cade Cunningham, Rookie of the Year on the Spurs. Dinwiddie, 6th man, 80 defense player, and most proof goes to Patrick Williams. Lloyd Pierce, your Coach of the Year. So we went 53 and 29 this time around, which is great. All NBA second team, all NBA third team, all defense first team, and all defense second team. So we are the second seed in the West again, and the Lakers fall to the 6th seed. So that's actually a really good sign. Player stat 31, 18, 14, 14, 12 from Vic Chambers, 11 from Gobert, and 13 and 2 blocks. So I'm pretty happy with the production. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell leading the way. We're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have LaMelo, D'Angelo Russell, and Karl Towns. The defense is obviously non-existent. They also brought back Ricky Rubio, which is nice in Minnesota to do. Let's do my current round, and we win at 6. Okay, so that was closer than I thought. We don't have to deal with the Lakers this time, because the MVP got eliminated by the Nuggets. But we know the Nuggets did eliminate us in 7 by coming back 3-1 on us in the bubble. But this time, that cannot happen as we beat them in 5. So we're back to the Western Conference Finals 2 times in a row, but this time we are playing the Dallas Mavericks, who have Vassell, Tilly, Porzingis. Yeah, we might be looking at an L here because they have a lot of depth, but let's see if we can make something happen. So similar game 1, it goes to them. Game 2 goes to us. So can we win game 3? Nope. And is this going to be the same thing? Nope. We actually even up the series. Okay, so let's go to a simcast kind of thing, and let's see if we can somehow win game 5 here and take the 3-2 lead. It's close, and we lose by 4 points. We're so close. Definitely fighting it out here, but we're going back to Utah. If we can force a game 7, we have a chance, which obviously we would have a chance because there would be a game 7, and it looks good, and we will force the game 7. 35 from Donovan Mitchell. Even Vic Chambers is out here averaging or dropping 23. Chris Paul with 15 and 13. Game 7 for the NBA Finals in Dallas. This is about to be a very close matchup. This would be an entertaining series to watch. Let's see what happens. And we come out selling in the first quarter. Wow, we just sold that whole game. 92-131, 98-134, 28-2-3, 16-9, 14-10. So at this point, I think I'm stepping down as a general manager. You know, we made it to the West Conference Finals twice, and then the Nets go on to win the championship. So this was more of a what-if rebuild. I kind of wanted to see what would happen if I threw Chris Paul on the Jazz. And hey, it led to 2 Western Conference Finals appearances and almost an NBA Finals. Chris Paul is about to get, well, if the roster ages actually moved, you know what? I feel like I should run it back one more time, right? I feel like it's only right. I gave Chris Paul a 2-year deal, as long as he didn't retire on me. One more time for the culture. I want to go ahead and re-sign Quinn Snyder, and I'm gonna keep the team the same. One more time. Let's see if we can do it. Oh yeah, we didn't make the playoffs, but hey, we made 2 Western Conference Finals appearances. I'll take it. I'll take it. At the end of the day, I'll take it. The Lakers go on to win the championship with LeBron James Still your finals MVP. Guys, let me know what you think. Should the Jazz try to trade for Chris Paul? I think it only makes sense. I think it makes too much sense. And I feel like the Jazz could definitely offer, maybe they won't be able to offer the sexiest trade that the Knicks might be able to, or some other team might be able to, but if the Jazz can find a way to pry Chris Paul away from Oklahoma City, I think it makes so much sense for the Jazz. Maybe it doesn't make as much sense for the Thunder. I mean, is Tony Bradley a nice piece that the Thunder would want? Is Georges Niang a piece? I don't know, but it would get rid of Chris Paul's contract by taking on Mike Conley's expiring, and then the Thunder can get a first round pick or two out of it as well. But other than that, I had a lot of fun with this video. Let me know if you guys have any other what if scenarios you want me to go through as far as the offseason is concerned. But leave a like if you enjoyed it. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace.